Hello, friends. I have a tarot reading for February for my Capricorn friends. Thank you for watching. Um, Thank you for the feedback that some of you guys left from the last reading. I'll try to incorporate any feedback I get always into the readings. And if you have anything else that you'd like to share or any experiences or how the readings resonate with you, I always love to see that. So please do. Alright, so I'm going to get straight to your reading. Today, for your current situation, we have the Eight of Cups. And this can mean that you're on sort of a journey. What it can also mean is that you're in a sort of period, a transitional state in your life. And that is spurred by becoming unsatisfied with the material situation around you. Perhaps you had a big goal, and for a long time you held that goal up as the thing that was keeping you from your happiness. And then you finally got that thing, and now you find that you're not happy again. And so what's happening is you're starting to wake up to the fact that there's something, a deeper gap that needs to be filled, other than just going from goal to goal, trying to basically put band-aids on a leaky dam, and so that's your current situation. You're in a transitional phase because things have been or have to be shaken up. You're sort of becoming too bored with the situation. And what's crossing you is almost the same thing. The Six of Swords, which is like a regretful or painful transition. So you're having to go through this. It appears whether you like to or not. So we'll get on to that in a minute. But let's just, for right now, the past that you have is the Strength card, which means you've got to this place that you're at through a tremendous amount of mental fortitude and strength. So in other words, whatever this thing you're transitioning out of is, and I get the feeling it might be like a relationship, maybe possibly a marriage or something like that. If that's what you're transitioning out of, or possibly a job, some institution like that, but we'll get to that. You've held it together tremendously, somewhat longer than it should have been held together. You know what I mean? So out of being a really good steward or an exceptionally sharp-minded individual, you've held this situation together much longer than really anyone could have expected you to. So bravo on that. But it is time for a transition. And what I'm seeing for the future is the Six of Cups, which represents fond memories. So that's kind of funny that this is in your future, because what this is saying is that you're going to look back on all of this and it's going to be fond memories. It's going to be lessons learned. It's going to be, you're going to look at it as a positive. You're going to not be damaged by this if you go through it the right way with the right mindset, and understanding why you do what you do. So there's positivity in that. The foundation of this whole scenario is the Five of Wands, and these cards are not showing up very bright. I guess it's better on that side. The Five of Wands, which it's sort of a creative conflict, or not necessarily creative, but it could be a difference of opinion or a difference of worldview. So perhaps you and somebody else have a major difference in philosophy about the issue or whatever this whole thing is about, and it's not superficial anymore. You're coming to realize that it is sort of a deal breaker, that kind of thing. So that's what the foundation of the situation is. That's what's in your subconscious, and that's what's going to bubble to the surface and erode this thing away, whether you actively handle it and like you know, whether you take the active role in dismantling this or whether you let it be dismantled by just, you know, raw inertia, it's going to fall apart. So it's looking like the advice is to handle this with grace. The crowning thoughts or what's on your mind is the two of coins. So you've had this attitude where like you can handle anything that comes out at you. You're very determined. You're not like, you're stubborn in a way too sometimes. But it comes from this practiced fortitude. It's like you've had everything come down on you at once, and you've been able to handle it. And you know, other people, you see them fall by the wayside, and you're helping them while you're still handling way more than they're handling. And you're really good at juggling a lot of different tasks, a lot of different concerns, and how that relates to the situation may be that somebody's not maybe trusting your specific ability in this, or perhaps it's not even about that. Perhaps it's about them caring more about how you come off than what you're actually capable of, or if you're right. You know what I mean? So sometimes a person is fully aware that you're right and would totally go along with you if it weren't for them feeling like they were being you know, just totally exposed and humiliated, because nobody wants to feel that way. So if you sort of gloat about something, or even if you just simply state the facts that you are good at something or you are right, you know, they will sometimes not respond positively to that, because really what they just want you to say is that like you care about how they feel. You care about you know, them being happy, not just like punching them in the guts with facts and things like that, you know. So there's that. The advice for the current situation is temperance, which sort of plays into what I was saying. Going through this situation, through these painful transitions, try not to think of this as something that you're the victim of. Try to think of this as an episode that you're a participant of. Um, and if it helps, think about your favorite TV show or your favorite movies or things like that, and imagine yourself as like the main character. Because very rarely do movies or TV shows or like that have bad endings, sad endings. There's always a happy ending. So visualize how these negative situations get turned into positives in like the movies. You know, use those artistic templates as a tool to sort of choose your direction in life, you know. And so that's essentially temperance, is just saying that whatever comes at you as a negative, you're going to take that and turn it into a positive. So like a flame, a fire is really destructive and burning, but it also tempers steel and makes it the sharpest, you know, most beautiful steel. So that's the kind of lesson you're going for here, is to take all the negatives as positives, and this can be a very, very awakening, you know, a liberating experience for you. It doesn't have to be quite so painful as you think it will be. You know, the currents or your current environment is the Hierophant, which is what made me think this might be like a marriage, or, you know, maybe just like a relationship. But either that or something that you feel a sort of societal obligation to uphold, like a relationship or a job or anything like that. You know what I mean? Something that you have pressure to hold together. And it's also it's sometimes the Hierophant is the Pope card, so it denotes one of you, whoever this sort of conflict is between, One of you is sort of channeling the power of fact, and one of you is channeling the power of belief a little bit more, or sort of majority rule and that kind of thing. So it may be a question of, if everybody's doing it, does it make it right? I don't know. It could be something like that. In your fears card, you have the Lovers, which really kind of suggests that you fear making a choice. It's, the thing about true love is, if you let it go, it's still going to come back to you, so don't hang on to this in a way. Like, if someone has a problem with you or something like that, let them go. Like, don't hang on to them. That's what I'm seeing as far as that goes. And don't be afraid of making a choice. I mean, you only live once, and there's tons of fish in the sea, or other places to work, or whatever this issue is for you. Don't be afraid to make big decisions. To really take the reins in your life. And when you do that, even if it's the wrong decision, just developing a pattern of taking control in your life will lead you to better situations, better things, being happier. It's because you're just shifting your whole mindset, your whole worldview, and that's usually a positive thing. If you have some sort of healthy support structure around you. But most people have something, and they sort of intuitively know who to seek out. Some people can take advantage of you, so you have to be careful, but on the whole, most people have good hearts, I find. Your overall message is the Hanged Man, which, again, in this context, I think it really means that you're going to have to go through this situation whether you want to or not. So if you're not the one who takes the initiative to set the whole situation out and say, look, this is what's going on, they're going to end it. You know what I mean? It's going to come crashing down either way, because this situation is no longer serving you. It's no longer suiting you, and for whatever reason, you've become so emotionally invested or something that you're failing to learn lessons from it. You're failing to grow from it. It's bringing you down more than it's making you grow and learn. And so because of that, or, that's not necessarily true. It just may be time for you to move on to something else. You may just be really bored, It doesn't strike me that this is necessarily like a really destructive situation. It could just be a situation where there's really just like a failure to meet minds. You know what I mean? Like a failure to really create that spark, that connection of real communication, I mean, it could come to the surface. It could manifest itself as like arguing and bickering and that type of thing, but it doesn't necessarily have to be like nasty. It could just be more of like a somber, this is ending type thing. The Hanged Man gives you the impression that you're sort of just sitting back and watching, and you're forced to wait and see how things unfold. And so, again, what that's saying is, if you have a choice, if you have a way to exit gracefully, I would say go for it, because this is inevitable. It's a change. It's going to occur. Whatever it is that you're trying, or maybe not necessarily trying to cling to, but you wish you could cling to, it's gone. So accept that, and accepting something changes the nature of it. So the quicker you can accept it, the quicker you can get on with your life and learn to be happy again. But overall, pretty interesting reading. Let me know how that one landed with you. And I will see you again next time, my Capricorn friends. Thank you very much.